I think President Putin was laying down a marker to say, look, this is not something that has just developed in the last 50 years or last 100 years. This is almost 1,000 years of history. And we can't erase that 1,000 years of history and pretend that it does not exist. And, I think it is difficult for the average American to even comprehend that, because the United States of America has barely been in existence for less than 250 years. So just 1/4 of Russia's history. And so the United States remains a very young country with, not such a deep historical root as Russia. And I thought it was important. It wasn't what Tucker expected, but Tucker, to his credit, let Putin talk. And I just found myself thinking, could you imagine Joe Biden trying to do this? Or Kamala Harris? Or hell, even George W. Bush? I don't think the only one who could probably hold forth like that and talk intelligently for that amount of time would maybe be Bill Clinton. But Putin put on quite a tour de force. I thought it was an outstanding interview. Covered a lot of territory, and there were no questions off limits. So, and Tucker was very direct in the questioning. What you see just by watching the body language is President Putin was very relaxed. He was not sitting there with arms crossed or legs crossed. He was sitting back in his chair for the most part, arms open, legs open. So it was sending a clear visual message. And he was being very matter of fact that presenting the Russian position that Russia's made repeated entreaties to the United States, to the West, to try to get along, and that it's been the West that has been insistent on pushing NATO to the east, and intelligence organizations that have insisted on continuing to support and incite groups within Russian territory and territories adjacent to Russia. So anybody that will take time to sit down and watch it. I know my wife, who normally doesn't watch these kinds of things, she was sitting down and she watched the entire thing. So I thought it was quite important.